Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Talos Principle. We're doing story. Look at that, I did an intro this time. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. Progress Report 9. Sure. From Bob Rakowski in Nomadics to the Ian mailing list. Progress Report 9. The basic skeleton of the simulation is now running on EL. It's not plugged into the AI system yet, but in theory, everything is ready. I guess the next step is to test whether the generated scenarios make sense. Or do we wait for the iteration module to something? I want an iteration module. Huh. The iteration module is probably what's responsible for, like, evolving the AIs? I don't know. Alright, Osiris3.txt. Oh, this is the story of the scribe explaining to the dying man the concept of the underworld, and we don't know whether that is strictly taken as, like, a literal text explaining the underworld and, like, how we perceive it or something, or if it's an allegory for the actual living world. Oh, so it's going to be lots of these fake words. All right. First wisdom, the scribe said to the dying man, is that the world is made of 5 elements. I get a footnote here. Here, the translator is clearly inserting his own beliefs into the text as... Okay. So is the soul of man. Know, therefore, that in this life, you are heart and shadow and name, and also Ka and Ba. Without all these things, you would not be a living being, but a thing. What is a man without a name who cannot speak of himself? What is a man without a shadow who is not anchored in the world? What is a man without a heart who can neither feel nor think? Excuse me. What is a man without a Ka who has no essence? What is a man without a Ba who is not himself but like unformed clay? Therefore, praise Osiris, the king of eternity, the lord of everlastingness, the eldest son of the womb of Nut. Okay, that's what that says. He who traverses millions of years in his existence. So this is a nice little parallel to the Ghost in the Machine here asking us about how we define being a person, right? Like, the Egyptians defined it as having a name, a shadow, a heart, a Ka, and a Ba, and all these things. And they all have kind of meanings in the allegory here, right? Yeah, you have to have a name so that you can speak of yourself. I don't know. Interesting to keep in mind next time we talk to Milton. Maybe. Probably not. I'll probably have forgotten in another minute or two. Democrates' altar, or on the just causes for war against the Indians. Written in 1547 to justify the Spanish conquest of the Americas. Huh. Very out of place here in Egypt land. The Spanish have a perfect right to rule these barbarians of the New World, who in humanity is inferior to the Spanish as children are to adults, or women are to men. Oh boy. Oh boy. For there exists between the two as great a difference as, I might even say, between apes and men. Compare then these gifts with those possessed by these half-men, in whom you will barely find the vestiges of humanity, who not only do not possess any learning at all, but are not even literate and eat human flesh? God, that is a long sentence. Just try to use the scroll bar. Well done, me. Therefore, if you wish to reduce them, I do not say to our domination, but to a servitude a little less harsh, it will not be difficult for them to change their masters. That's a crappy attitude. Alright, well, we know there's the other computer terminal in the back. We're gonna go over here and check out the QR codes first. What do you got to say? Theory, this place is some kind of preserve for human history, and we're the endangered species. From Sheep version 69. Oh yeah. That's an interesting thought. We know about like the archive, and it's kind of tied to these other projects, and so that's not completely unheard of. Theory, trying to find answers will only bring pain. Ceasing to care is the only escape. Okay, thank you, Samsara. Theory, this guy is 10 times more help than you, Samsara, so shut your face. From Sam. Theory, we're in some kind of incubator, waiting to be hatched. Sheep version 69. Oh yeah. 0.1.0589. Are you the same? 0579. So you're a later version of Sheep. Huh. Theory, if you knew how little you know, you wouldn't be exposing it here. From Dog. A very harsh AI, I guess? A very harsh person, creature? Everything else interesting out here? Just do our quick little lap around our new zone here. You know how it is. You know how it is. You've seen enough of these videos. You know what's going on. I do like the occasional glitchiness in the world around us, reminding us that, yeah, no, you're totally inside a computer. This is not real. I mean, maybe it is real. What is real? As Morpheus would ask. Terminal? I think that's it. Yeah, that looks to be about it. We didn't check, like, that stretch of wall there, but... Alright. Cool, awesome, glowy blue terminal. Also, you're in the shade, which is kind of a nice little touch. What do you got for us? Only two things. Body and soul dot text. But it is commonly supposed that the Egyptians believed the soul to live as long as the body continue. Let's have a sip of water here. Try that again. But it is commonly supposed that the Egyptians believed the soul to live as long as the body continued undissolved, and therefore tried this method of eluding death. Could the wise Egyptians, said Nikaya, think so grossly of the soul? If the soul could once survive its separation, what could it afterwards receive or suffer from the body? The Egyptians would doubtless think erroneously, said the astronomer. In the darkness of heathenism and the first dawn of philosophy, the nature of the soul is still disputed amidst all our opportunities of clearer knowledge. Some yet say that it may be material, who, nevertheless, believe it to be immortal. Interesting. So yes, again, tying into, like, all these things kind of are just, like, orbiting around the idea of consciousness and having a soul, and is it possible to create actual life from, you know, like machinery, like bits and bobs, materialism, that sort of thing. Also, oh boy, lots of stuff to translate down there. Soma.email. From Sun Wei Yang to Arcady. Subject, names. Names are a funny thing. I remember how much we struggled to come up with a name for our project. All serious scientists name their projects by just translating them to Greek or Latin, right? Corpus made me think of some horrible disease, so we used the Greek word instead, soma. Quite appropriate. But then, since we needed corporate funding, we had to come up with a backronym. Corporations love backronyms, you know? They even sent us a list of buzzword-heavy suggestions to help us get started. Excuse me. Stuff like self-sufficient, orthostatic, modular android, sustainable, observant, mechanized anthropoid. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to scroll again. It doesn't work. Stop it, me. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff in there. Skeuomorphic, omni-adaptable, mobile, anthropomaton? Anthropomaton, yeah. That's not a real word. After a while, we got so frustrated that we started getting silly. Saber-toothed, overexcited murder android. Ooh, I like that one. Sentient, orthopedic monkey automaton. Strange Olga's menacing assassobot. Superb octopod marinades apelings. Satisfying overcooked mint alligator. Stinky ornithological mule alligator. Skrank oof minky ack. Stupid, obscure, meaningless acronym. In the end, we all just ended up hating the name Soma just because we had so many fights about it with the sponsors. So when Alexandra told the story about the Talos Principle, caught on. I don't know whether it really fits, but I kind of like it. So we know why it was formerly the Soma Project, and now it's called the Talos Project. That's kind of neat. So that's that. Let's finish our lap very quickly here. Not really expecting to find anything else. No. No, we're good.